Hi, welcome back to another video. After my Tour Du Mont Blanc, a lot of people asked some questions about what gear I used, so I thought I'd do a little video just to whiz through it quickly. This isn't going to be everything that I took on the trip. I can't remember everything, to be honest, but I've got some of the big ticket items, some of the things that work really, really well, and that I can share with you, and maybe any tips of what you could take as well. For this trip, I decided to take a brand new pack for me, and it's an Atam Pax. Now, I do have an Atam Pax 50. I've had that for 2 years. I absolutely love it. Use it for all my hikes. I used it for my coast to coast, my Cumbria Way, my Dales Way. Brilliant bag. But for this one, I wanted to try and get something a little bit lighter. So I contacted Atam Pax to see what they had in stock, and they had an RE40. It's actually a custom pack, and it's 35 litres, this version. So a little bit on the small side, but yeah, this was going to be perfect for this trip. The reason I bought this one is it has no structure to it. So it's very, very lightweight. I think it's about under 450 grams. It's quite similar to Mimo, apart from it doesn't have proper waist strap, although you can buy one. I did buy a very, very thin one for it, which was handy. Didn't always use it, but I guess when I was running, sometimes it was nice to put around your waist. So it has no structure, and it isn't waterproof either. None of these bags are waterproof, so you should always have a pack liner. I would normally use a Nyla Flume bag, but for this one, when I stayed the night before starting the trip, I did see a really thick black bin liner where I was staying, and I pinched one of those. So I put a big compactor sack in this, and it was fantastic, and it was needed because I got soaked. Absolutely wet out already, probably. My arse feels soaking because everything's running off my bag. And my bag was a bit wet on the inside, but all of my gear was perfectly dry. So whatever you do, always put some kind of bag on the inside to protect your gear. But this is basically just one big sack. You've got your normal straps. The one thing missing from this are load lifters. And I'm going to be really honest, my traps were hurting for a few days as well. And I think it was because it was missing the load lifters. So it's one of the sacrifices you make with the super light pack. If they're important to you, the next one up, I forget the name because they've changed the names recently, but it used to be called the Atam Plus. That does have load lifters on. And if you custom your pack, you can probably have them added. I would recommend it. So this pack's designed to carry around 9 kilo. I think my base weight was around, on my weight with water was about 8.8 kilos, so pretty lightweight, but at the limit, and it was packed pretty tight. The great thing about these packs, with all of them, is you've got the front water bottle pockets. They're brilliant. I just use them for my sunglasses, bit of sun cream. You've got your chest straps. Now, I purchased an additional strap, so I had 2. If you're a vlogger, or everyone asks me, how do I carry my camera when I'm hiking? I just hook it under both straps. One strap's fine, but it does flap around a little bit, so if you've got double chest straps, works really well. So you can buy those as additional. You've got 2 very large pockets at the side. I use those for my trekking poles and my water as well. And I took 2 850ml smart bottles. Generally, one was going to be clean water, one was going to be for electrolytes, but the way the trip worked out, I used them both for electrolytes. You've got your stretch mesh on the front, which is great. Stuff things in there, your waterproofs, quick things to get. And underneath, that I absolutely love, is you've got your little pocket for your treats or whatever you want. You can grab underneath, just grab them out, and when you've got your wrapper, there's a little hole on the other side and you can shove your wrapper in. So this was fantastic. Really, really good purchase. Next big ticket item, tent. Again, take what you like for this, but I use my X-Mid one-piece solid. I've used this for all my long distance hikes. Absolutely love it. It does pack smaller than this. You can get it about half the size, but I pack it quite long and thin, and it just fits in the bag a little bit better. If you were struggling on space, it really does compress down. I think it weighs, 909 grams. I've got it in a Lanshan 2 Pro bag because you can really pull it tight and really cinch it down. Really, really like this. Some of the perks of it, you can pitch it very easily just with 6 pegs. Inner and outer pitch together, which is great if it rains, but you can also unclip the inner. So I had to do that on one of the nights when I got absolutely soaked, so I could take down the inner, pack that in a separate bag to make sure it stayed dry, and then I just had the wet outer, which worked really well. Now we're going to go for sleep mat, which is very, very important part of your system. Usually I use my X-Therm. I've got my Thermarest X-Therm in large. It's fantastic, super warm, but it isn't the comfiest pad. I've seen lots online about the Kenkos Gear ultralight pad. It's about a 3.8 R value, I think. Check the description below for the exact one. And it was super cheap. I did have a discount code on it as well, and I think I got it for about £90, something along those lines. So I bought it before the trip, didn't test it. I thought, oh, it's fine. You get a pump sack, which is really high quality. Got rid of that. Took it out of the bag. Just had the mat. It packs very small, very light, and I thought, this is great. I think I weighed it, and it was 550 grams. Thought, fantastic. Was it comfortable? Yeah, most comfortable pad I've ever slept on. It's long, it's wide, it's thick, it's got the dimple baffling system, which is super, super comfy. So yeah, on that regard, fantastic. However, there is one major issue that I had with this pad, and Kilo's Gear made a really bad quality control check. When I was away on the trip, a couple of days in, I was feeling it to think, does it feel warm? Not really. Thought it should be okay for this trip. But I got an email to say, sorry, we've had a bit of an error in manufacturing, and we've sent out a lot of these pads with 0 insulation in. So what a mistake to make. So I emailed them to say, it's a disgrace that. How's that happened? They obviously replaced it. So, you know, within about 10 days, they sent me a new one. I didn't have to send this one back, which I shouldn't have to. So, yes, I've got a new pad now, but very, very disappointed. Had I have been in freezing cold conditions and I'm away, and I could have been away for up to 8 days on that trip, that could have been quite dangerous and freezing. So, very, very disappointed in that. I did reach out to Kilos Gear to see if they wanted to say anything, to say, you know, is there an apology there? Nothing. So I'll try the pad over the next few hikes and see how comfy it is, but I was quite disappointed with that mistake that they made. Next, quilt. Again, take anything you like. Sleeping bag I love, but I also do love a quilt. My quilts and sleeping bags are a little bit bulky, a little bit heavy, so I thought I'd buy a new one for this. So I treated myself to an Enlightened equipment Enigma. I got the long version, and I'm not particularly tall, I'm 6 foot, but for me, if it's cold, you can really hunker down into the bag and you can get the bag right over your head. You can get the sleeping quilt right over your head. It has pad straps to really attach it to your pad. I didn't use those, I didn't need them. And it has a sewn-in foot box. Was it warm? Yes. It was brilliant. It was important for me to get this because I wanted a smaller pack size, especially for the bag I was taking. So it packs very, very small. I think it weighs about 700 grams, so it's not massively light. But for me, it worked out perfect, and I'm going to use it on a lot of my hikes now, not necessarily for winter. However, very, very, very expensive. I think it cost me £358 from Valley and Peak. You know, it's only a sleeping bag, it's only a bit of material and down. So was it worth it? For most people, no. Was it worth it for the weight saving and pack size? Maybe. Next, we've got my pillow. It's a luxury because it's quite big, but this is the Xed Mega Pillow. I use it for all my hikes. Absolutely love it. Comfy, really fluffy. It's got a really good system for blowing it up and letting air out. You can let the air out very, very quickly. It's not the smallest, it's not the lightest, but it's a mega pillow. What do you expect? You know, loads of room on it, very comfy. I will always take this. The only thing I've still not done is added pad straps, which will be worthwhile doing so it doesn't slide around, but absolutely love that. Last part of the system is my pegs. So again, pegs are very personal. Everyone takes different ones, but I changed things up a little bit on this one. My pegs of choice for most of my hikes are the MSR Carbon Core 9-inch. Really, really love these. Very, very, very solid. Very good stopping power, but in softer ground. If you've got hard ground, they're quite difficult to get in. Really, really love these. I took 2 of these on this trip, and I used those for my guy lines. I also took a couple of DAC pegs. I took 2 of these because for this tent, it takes 4 pegs, 1 for each corner. 1 for one of the doors, but ideally you want 1 for the other door as well. That's 6. And you do have 2 guy lines and 2 extra guy lines if you want. So potentially 8 and 10 if you want to really hunker it down. The other pegs weigh 14 grams. These weigh 11 grams each. I took 2 of these. And the new pegs I took, very small, very light, with the 3F UL gears, carbon, super light, 6-inch nails or stakes, whatever they are. And these weigh 6 grams each. So I took 6 of these. Again, they'd be great in hard ground because you can really hammer these in. Won't be good if you've got very soft ground, but really, really like them. Small, light. I'm going to be using those a lot more. Okay, so that is this sleep system. So for the days, I just wore, you know, your normal tops, but one of the ones I did like was this Rab one I've worn on quite a few of my hikes. So it's long sleeved, but you can roll the sleeves up, so it adds a little bit of warmth. It's got a zip on the front. It's super light. It's airy. It's not going to smell. So this, I really, really liked, and I wore this for a lot of the days. And I've got these Everdict or Kip Run cheap shorts. Quite light, very airy. Worn these loads of my hikes now. Incidentally, when I wore my waterproof pants, which I'll go on to next, I basically just took these off, so I just had boxers on underneath so I could save these. So let's go to the waterproof pants. These are also Everdict or Kip Run. So you get these from Decathlon or even Debenhams. And these are brilliant. I've worn these loads of times. Very light, very small. Zip up to mid-shin or up your shin so you can put them on when you've got your trainers on. Elasticated waist with a little tie on them. Very, very good. I've worn these for a lot of my faster-paced sort of hikes, but these did wet out. So they're not fantastic in very, very strong conditions. However, they still keep you warm. They dry very quickly. Would I recommend them? Yes. Would I take them if I did it again? Yes. And then your waterproof coat. Again, waterproofs are essential for hikes like this. And I took the Rab Firewall Lite jacket. Why did I buy this one when I've got lots of jackets? For the colour. You know I love orange, so that's literally why I wanted this jacket. It's very light. It says it's 20,000 hydrostatic head. It is waterproof. You do tend to feel the rain a little bit more. It is thinner than some of my other jackets. It's got 2 side pockets. It's got a very good hood where you can tighten it on the back and a stiffened peak. And like all jackets, it tightens really, really well on your sleeves as well. On the day when we got absolutely soaked, it completely wet through, but everybody else did as well. Doesn't matter what you were wearing, everyone wet out. So for me, it was super light, it packed small, it looks good, it fit well, love it. So yeah, very, very good. The other thing I took was a windproof jacket. I didn't think I was going to use this, but I ended up using it when I was in Italy. It's a mountain equipment. I put the model below, I can't remember, but it's got a side pocket and a hood. It's very, very light, very thin. It packs to nothing, it weighs nothing. Really, really good to bring. You can just put this on, it's going to stop the wind getting to you and keep you a little bit warmer. So that was really good. This is my Senchi Designs Alpha 60. So they do an Alpha 60, 90 and 120, and that depicts how thick and warm it is. So this is the lighter of the models. Really good. It's got a hood, stretchy, so it fits very well. It's also got stretch on the sleeves as well, and stretch around the waist. It weighs nothing. It's really warm, fits well, looks good. Used it every single day. I wear it far too much at home and on other hikes. I love it. I do want one in yellow as well, but they're very, very hard to get in stock. So Senchi Designs, have a look on the website, get your name on the waiting list, I presume. Okay, then underneath, we've got boxers. I like the step ones. I took 3 pairs, a little bit of a luxury. Again, you want to be clean, and it was a good job because one of the days I got absolutely soaked through. So these are good. They don't dry particularly quickly, but they don't smell. They fit well. I've got orange and black. Took 3 of those. Socks. Because of my footwear that I'll show you next, I like to wear toe socks. They're not for everyone. I don't normally like things like this. And if you haven't tried them, try them. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. I really, really like them. And I'm really fussy with my feet and socks, so if I can wear them, anybody can. I bought some cheap ones. I've got some in gingies, which are quite expensive, but for this one, and my last trip I did, I thought, I'll just buy some cheap ones at Amazon. AO Magic, these are called. I think you get a 3-pack for about 20 quid. The idea behind them is you won't get any blisters between your toes. Not that I suffer with that, but when you wear trail runners and you want your toes to splay a little bit wider, they are really helpful. They're quite light, they look good, they're airy, so I took 3 pairs of these. And the only other pair of socks I took was my waterproof socks. I did have a little rant about these in my video. Sealskins aren't for me. I don't like how they fit, I don't like how they feel. They're expensive. Yeah, not for me. So these Otter Socks, they feel more like socks. They fit more like socks. These look good. I know they're a funky pinky colour, but these are the colours that they do for this low height here. And they've got a little tab on the back to pull them up. But these are fantastic. I wore them loads. Keep your feet completely dry. Obviously take your other socks off. Just wear these. Brilliant. Essential for me. I only bought them on a whim very shortly before it, about 20 odd pounds. So glad I did. Star of the show. Shoes. I normally wear my Adidas Terex. I've worn those loads, but on my long distance hikes, I've been suffering with my heels and under my feet. They've been aching after so long, so I decided to change to some trail runners, and I bought some Alro Olympus 5. They were brilliant. They're 0 drop, a wide toe box, and they have a very big stack height, and I found them superb, but they were half a size too small. So for this one, I decided to get a slightly bigger pair, and I got the Ultra Timp 5s. The Olympus have the biggest stack height, Timp in the middle, and then you've got the lone peaks with very little stack height. They're not for me then. You feel more of the ground, but I want the protection when you're doing the miles. And these were absolutely fantastic. I changed the laces to orange. They were blue as standard. But when you first put them on, they fit like a normal trainer. There's no breaking in. There's no weird fit. The Olympus are a little bit funky. Your heel slips a little bit. These were superb. Awesome grip. They're not waterproof. Your feet are going to get wet. If you walk through wet grass, you're going to get wet. But again, in combination with waterproof socks, yeah, fantastic. So I really, 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 really recommend these. They were brilliant for me. I had no pain in my feet. Did so many miles. I did 48k on that last day. I got home. My knees were good. My feet were good. I didn't have a single blister, rub. Oh, fantastic. Cook system. I almost wasn't going to bother taking a cook system, but I've kind of got this new little system that I'm using at the moment, so you can dry soak things as well. So I've got myself a 640ml little plastic pot. It's a screw top. And inside it, I have my stove. It fits in very tight because I've made a little modification to this and now I can't get it out. Cut the video. Oh, right, there we go. I'm not going to go through any food, but I took meals for 4 days. So my dehydrated meals, I'd cut the packets open before I went, repackaged them very small. So on the trail, I basically just opened the dehydrated meal, poured it into here, boiled my water, poured it in here and it fits perfectly. Put the lid on to rehydrate and eat it out of this and clean this. It's brilliant. Great if you want a cold soak. Dead cheap, really good idea. And this pot fits in perfectly. Now I say perfect, it was obviously hard to get out then because I have made a little modification, which I'm going to make a separate video about. As you probably see, I've got these lovely orange handles on it. I've modified that myself. But this pot is a 550 Tokes Ultralight, the new Ultralight pot. It weighs 77 grams and that's with the extra modifications. I think it's about 70 normally. It's got a little lid on it. It's perfect for your dehydrated meals, for coffees. It's very light. Again, this little modification I've made to put these rubber handles on it, and I've also put them on the lid. Because they're very thin handles, it does get very hot, so these are perfect just to grip it after you've boiled your water. Obviously, gas canister. This is one that I bought when I was over there, and I brought it back on the plane. Don't ask me how. I only noticed when I got back, so apologies for that. But you can buy these locally, so I just bought one of those when I landed. And I took the good old BRS 3000 stove. I've had one of these for years and it did break, so I bought a new one from AliExpress before I went for about £7. It only weighs 27 grams, 26 grams, very light, very small. I'm only going to be cooking in my tent anyway, so the wind isn't an issue. If you want super light, get yourself one of those. They're noisy as hell, but they're super powerful and a little bit lighter to light everything. Again, I'll get a close-up and I'll overlay it, but this was my hygiene kit. I did take a little mini deodorant, again, a luxury. A cut-down toothbrush, a mini toothpaste, a little bit of shampoo, the little cloths that you add water to and you open out. These are brilliant. Use these for clean your face, clean your body, clean your pots. They were great. My little toilet kit in a little Enigma bag. I just had a little hand wash and some wipes. And I did have my little trowel as well. I don't know where I put it, but my little trowel I took with me as well. First aid kit, personal for everyone. I've got one of these little Enigma bags. Mine only weighs 65 grams. I've got a little bit of everything in there. I've got pocket knife, Compeed, plasters, headache tablets, some Rennies and some tenacious tape just to repair anything on the go. Electronics. I actually took the DJI Action 4. I prefer this to the GoPro for a few reasons because of the mic and the screen and the usability, but this is what I took on this selfie stick, which worked really well. In hindsight, a little learn. Next time I go, I'll probably take this selfie stick, which is a lot longer. Looking back at the videos, a lot of the footage was a little bit too close for my liking. I wanted it a little bit further away. So I took that and I took 3 or 4 batteries. Those batteries lasted for nearly the whole trip. I only had to charge the battery once, so I was really careful on what I filmed, making sure I turned the camera off each time, so I didn't have to really recharge things. Took the flex tail pump. I charged it before I went. That lasted the whole trip. Torches, I took 2 head torches. I've got my little Rovivon, and this is a great little torch. It's brilliant. You can clip it on your peak of your cap. It's tiny to have in your pocket. It glows up in the dark. It's got loads of little settings on it. It can go in your tent. Super bright. I take this on every single camp. And as a proper head torch, I take my Nightcore NU20 with a modified strap. Brilliant head torch. Again, I've used this right from the start. I love it. And I do have the newer version as well, which is the NU20 Classic. The difference being, it looks the same, apart from it's upgraded to USB-C. So I've got that one as well. Power banks, I took 2 10,000 milliamps, and they just lasted. When you're in the Refugios, I did charge these up. I've got 2 of these, so 20,000 milliamps. They're very lightweight, and it was just about enough for me. If I hadn't stayed in Refugios, I may well have struggled, so I probably could have took a little bit more power. But again, for me, it worked well. I also took a 65-watt foreign charger. Bought it on AliExpress for £2. I took that with me as well. And that was everything in a little Enigma bag. I did take one of my DJI mics. Didn't even use it. I filmed the whole thing on the DJI Action just with the built-in wind muff. That was it. Couple of little extra mentions. Katadyn B3 water filter. I take this on every hike regardless. I only used it once. Did you need it? No. You know, fresh streams straight off the glacier. There's lots of water filling points apart from day one. So you don't need this. Should you take one? Yes, just in case. So I always take that. It weighs nothing and it's silly not to. Oh, two more things. This is my little spongy. I've got it in a plastic bag. Essential. This is used for cleaning down your tent for condensation, wiping it dry. It's super absorbent. You know, it gets it all off. I tend to take a pink and a blue. And the blue one, if I'm going to be getting wet, I'll use it to dry my body. Really good. Don't know about you, but I don't want to use the same one that I've been cleaning down my tent with. It already stinks. And last but not least, trekking poles. The one essential thing you need for this trip. Everybody has them. If you haven't used them before, buy some, because you'll find these super helpful. I swear by the Harrier trail running Helvellyn poles. I don't get the pro ones. The pro ones are set height. I prefer the adjustable. So this one goes from 110 to 125 height, which is perfect for my tent, so I can adjust it. They break down this small and they extend out to full height. Very light. I absolutely love them, but I snapped one and ended up throwing it away. Sad to see it go. But there you go. So I had to buy one when I was there, some Giron basic pole. It's a twist lock. And to be fair, it was actually pretty good. The strap's a bit crap, but it worked really well. Yeah, they're essential. Now, in summary, was there anything that I took that I didn't use? No. I literally used everything that I took in my bag. Everything that I took there worked well. Actually, the one thing I've not got here, I've not shown you, the Rue bum bag. Oh, what a buy that was. I picked it up on, I think, a Facebook Marketplace for £20 off somebody before I went. It was brilliant. I've never been one for a bum bag, but I thought I'll give it a try. It matches my bag. There's one zip compartment. In there, I had two Ziploc bags. In one of them, I had my snacks, which was peanut butter M&Ms and banana chips. In the other one, I just had anything I needed for that day, but in a Ziploc bag. So I might have a battery, a light, some electrolytes, things like that. In the front of it is a piece of mesh. That's where my phone went. I could put my phone in, put it out, take some pictures, put it away again. That was really, really good. But yeah, I used absolutely everything. When you do this yourself, just decide what's important to you. I'd probably recommend a slightly bigger bag. Make sure you've got everything you need. For me, everything worked perfectly, obviously apart from the mat. It was comfy, but it didn't have the R value. The stars of the show were the shoes, trekking poles, the tent was great, the Century Designs thing was brilliant, and that's what I took. There was loads of other few bits and bobs, but I generally weighed about 8.8 kilo. So that's it. If you've got any questions about gear, do leave them in the comments below. Don't worry about trying to copy what gear I've got. You know, we've all got different budgets. I've been doing this for a long time and upgraded over time. So if you've got any questions about sort of gear you want to take or any advice, leave them below. Happy to help. If not, I will see you on the next one. Peace.